Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. My name is Alison. I'm a certified dating and relationship coach, and I primarily work with singles to help them find the love and commitment that they deserve. I have a bachelor's degree in education, a master's degree in counseling, a master's degree extension in mental health counseling, and as mentioned before, I am a licensed coach. So, every Wednesday, I do this live Q&A. This is an opportunity for those who are a part of the community, a part of the Land of Love community, which is what I call it here, for them to get their questions answered in regards to dating and relationships for the free. And if you need anything that's more in-depth, once I actually am finished with my maternity leave, which is another 2 weeks, then you can book a session by clicking the link in my bio. I am hosting a Dating 101 live masterclass. I have a live masterclass. It's probably going to run about 3 hours. That's going to be on October the 30th. That's Sunday, October the 30th at 4 p.m. Eastern. I highly recommend that if you are struggling with navigating dating in 2022 into 2023, that you go ahead and click the link in my bio and you make that purchase to be a part of our class on October 30th. The class will be recorded, and those who register before the class will receive the replay for free. So even if you're not going to make it, you should go ahead and register. It's at 60% off right now, and the price will go up thereafter. Take action. Stop playing. It was at 66% off. Okay? So let us go ahead. If you are new to my page, I want you to introduce yourself. Let us know who you are and where you are from so we can properly welcome you to the Land of Love. Hello, Miss Wright. Hello, Still Jazzy. How are you? Divine. We have Iron Lion. I like that name. Miss Saturn. Miss Carla. Hello. City Country Lifestyle. Oh, City Country Lifestyle. Tell us more about that, because how you have a city and a country lifestyle at the same time, I don't know how that works. Hello, Modern Day Velma. We have Jen in the building. We have plenty of folks who are joining us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you know anyone who you think will enjoy or could benefit from this live, go ahead and share this live with a friend, okay? So for those who are new, how does it work? Every week, every Tuesday around this time, I post this green story. The picture might change because I did a photo shoot last week and I'm waiting for the photos to come in. But it's going to be this green story, and there's a box that's right here for you to drop your question in the box. You'll drop your question in the box. Do not DM me the question. I will not be able to find it. You put it in the box. It stays organized because then I can just slide up and I see all the questions together. And that is how I answer it. I always start with my subscribers. So those who subscribe to my page, they're the ones who are guaranteed to get their question answered in the time allotted. Everyone else, I will try my best to squeeze you in, but those people have to have the priority. So if you want to subscribe, it's only $4.99. Go to my page, click on subscribe. Okay, so who do we have? We have somebody said, hey, Alison, hey, boo. This is Khadijah from DC. Thank you. I'm so happy that you're here. Steph, who's from Rochester, New York. Steph, I'm in Rochester all the time. We have Kay, who's from Kansas City. Elania, I hope I got that right, from Brooklyn. What part of Brooklyn you in? I'm in Canarsie, girlfriend. All right, so that is how you get your questions answered. Do not put the questions in the question queue now. I will not answer it. I'm only answering those that was put within the 24 hours with the subscribers being first. Okay? Okay. So let us get into this here. How to balance attachments when dating multiple men. How to balance attachments when dating multiple men. So first of all, let me do a little bit of clarification when we talk about dating for those who are new to my page. When we talk about dating, because people use the term interchangeably, we are not talking about a committed relationship. We are talking about spending romantic time with someone that you are interested in a romantic way. All right, that's dating. That's going on a date. So that's the difference between going out with a friend, right? I'm not interested in my friend romantically. The purpose of us spending this time is not to get to know each other in a romantic way, versus going out with someone, going physically out on a date. That is who you are dating, right? To get to know them in a romantic way. Now, that does not mean that you are sleeping with these people. As a matter of fact, I do not recommend, right? Simply for health purposes, not even on a religious kick, like simply for health purposes, I do not recommend that you're sleeping with more than one person at a time. We're not talking about sleeping with multiple people. We're talking about engaging in conversations and spending time with folks that you would like to get to know in a romantic way. Got it? Good. Okay, so now that we have that definition clear, How do you avoid becoming too attached? So this is the thing, right? You first need to know exactly what you're looking for in a partner, right? Those are the non-negotiables. I talk about them every single week. They are the foundation of my coaching program. They are going to be the foundation of Dating 101, the masterclass, which is on Sunday, October 30th, and it's 60% off. Click the link in my bio. Do it now because the price is going to go up every week leading up to the class, okay? So the foundation of dating is getting clear on exactly what you want. The foundation of dating isn't which apps do I get on, which I'm going to answer that because I get it every single week. The foundation of dating is not what do I wear and how do I style my hair and where do I go to meet men or meet women. The foundation of dating is you knowing and understanding what you are looking for in a partner. That's number one. That's part A. And then part B is being able to qualify them, right? I have my friend in here, Taylor Chandler, and she hates the word vet, but I have to use it because it describes it's the best. You know what you want, and then you have to qualify, assess, vet whether or not this person seemingly has those qualities. You are never going to know 100%. You might die, right? With this person being your husband and wife, and you not knowing 100% whether or not they 100% fulfill all your non-negotiables. This person seemingly fulfills it, right? You're asking questions. You're not bombarding them. You're asking questions. You're paying attention to behaviors to assess whether or not they're a good fit for you. Okay? That is the foundation of successful dating. Got it? Good. All the other stuff of what hair and dress and where to go and which apps are secondary to you. You are the key. Okay? So we got that. Now, how do you make sure that you don't become too attached? You make sure that you don't become too attached by first having a rotation, right? Many times when people become too attached, they don't even have a second person. So of course you're going to become attached because you only have one person. And I mean, it's not a rotation, it's only one person, right? You only have one person. So there is no way that you have the opportunity to even be distracted from or to give energy to or effort to someone else because there is no someone else. Right? So first of all, you have to have that lined up, whatever that might look like for you. If it's 2, if it's 3 people, that is your choice, right? I would not recommend more than 3 because folks are busy. We work like, we ain't got time for that, right? 3, 2, not 1. Got it? Good. So first of all, you need to have that rotation. And then secondly, you need to be focusing on assessment. Like, I know that that sounds very technical. I know that that does not sound sexy or romantic, but guess what? We need to put sexy and romantic to the side for just a moment because sexy and romantic is not what's going to cause longevity in your relationships. Sexy and romantic, especially sexy, especially chemistry. My folks who love talking about chemistry is not going to cause you to have longevity in your relationships. So if you are focusing on these are the things I'm looking for in a partner, these are the questions I need to ask strategically, these are the behaviors I need to pay attention to, then it would take the attention off of, oh my God, he's so dreamy, and put the attention on, oh my God, does he fulfill whatever it is that you are looking for? If that means hardworking, affectionate, those are mine. Family oriented, perhaps being religious or whatever that might look like for you, you have to decide what those non-negotiables are for you. So in summary, how do you avoid an attachment? First of all, have more than one person in rotation. And then secondly, you're focusing on deciding whether or not they're a good fit for you and not focusing on how hot or how attracted you are to them. If you do those 2 things, then you are going to be less likely to become too attached to a person before you have decided that they are a seemingly good fit for you. I know that was long-winded, but I hope that that's clear, okay? Guy is always saying he's unattractive, not good looking. I know what unattractive is, but thank you. Guy is always saying he's unattractive, not good looking. Stay or leave. We've had 7 dates. Guy is always saying he's unattractive, not good looking. Stay or leave. He has 7 dates. Okay. So it seems as though that this gentleman may have low self-esteem. That seems to be the problem here, right? You didn't say that he was unattractive. You didn't say that you found him unattractive. You said that he keeps saying that about himself, which I can imagine is quite annoying. Quite annoying. And it's not enjoyable to date someone who has low self-esteem or so low self-confidence. And it can potentially become problematic in your relationship because those people tend to be or behave in a jealous fashion. So 7 dates or not, you have to again decide your non-negotiables. And if it is so frustrating for you that this gentleman lacks this confidence that you want to step away, then step away. To me, at least on the surface, based on the information that we have, I would imagine if he fulfills all of my non-negotiables, that I might help to boost his confidence. I might consider advising him to go to seek some therapy so that we can uncover, not we, but them can uncover it, uncover what the issue is. It could be problematic. So where does he stand on all the other non-negotiables? Is he willing to seek help in order to correct the situation? If he is fulfilling all of your non-negotiables and he's willing to put in some effort to do some deep dive as to why he feels the way that he feels, then I would consider giving him some sort of quote unquote second chance. But if he's not fulfilling the non-negotiables, then I don't care about his lack of confidence. He doesn't fulfill the non-negotiables. That's the end of the conversation. And or if he's not willing to do any kind of deep dive to come to a realization as to why he feels this way, then I can only see it becoming problematic later on. I need both of those elements to be true. Okay? I see some folks saying that he might want you to stroke his ego. Maybe he just is fishing for compliments. Maybe so. If he's willing to put in the work, I'd let it go. Okay? What are some key questions to ask on a second date? What are some key questions to ask on a second date? Thank you, Jay, for purchasing a badge. I appreciate you. Someone else who purchased a badge too. Miss Marcib12. Did I get that right? If I didn't get that right, I'm sorry, boo. Let me know how I should pronounce it. Okay. What are some key questions to ask on a second date? So this may be second date, this may be first date, this may be conversation, but early in the game. I'm going to answer this question as, what questions do you ask early? So again, the foundation of successful dating is knowing what you are looking for. So I can't answer your question of what questions you should ask. The questions that you should ask should be based on your non-negotiables. I'm going to give you some examples of my non-negotiables. I'm going to give you some examples of questions that I would ask based on me trying to assess whether or not that person has my non-negotiables. But again, you have to create your own list, or you hire someone who will give you a list. Okay, good. So what are some key questions to ask? So one of my non-negotiables is that the person is hardworking, right? That is a must. I don't even care if they come from money and they don't have to work another day in their lives. I don't care if they've won the lottery. Like, I need them to be working the money that they've inherited. I need them to be working the money that they've won through the lottery, right? Hard work is something that's super important to me. It's one of my values. And so I need a partner who's going to be hardworking, right? Good. So one of the questions I would ask is, what do you do for a living? Do you enjoy your work? How much time do you put in at work? Do you see yourself retiring from that position? Have you thought about doing something else? Is there any business in a perfect world that you would open if you could? So all of my questions around the value of hardworking is going to be that, right? One of my values is that the person is family oriented, right? So I'm going to be asking them, what's their relationship? Do they have siblings? What's their relationship like? How frequently do they get to see their parents? How frequently do they get to see? And notice I said get to see. Why do I put it that way? When you ask your questions, you do not want to be judgmental in your tone or your choice of words, right? So I'm not going to say, when's the last time you went and visited your mama? Because that sounds like I say, I feel like you're not doing enough, so you need to go see your mom, right? Versus me saying, I just said the phrase. Do you get a chance to? Do you get a chance to takes away the responsibility and makes it seem like, oh, it's not your fault. I just didn't get a chance. In reality, yes, I'm judging the shit out of you. I absolutely am, right? So do you get a chance to visit your parents? Do you have siblings? What's the relationship like with them? What are you doing for Thanksgiving, right? So this is all the things around family oriented. Do you desire to have children? Do you desire to have more children? So you take your non-negotiable, which is why I can't give you questions, right? Because I don't know what your non-negotiables are. I do with my clients, and we spend a whole hour on it. But your non-negotiables, and then you're going to create questions based on those non-negotiables. And you're not going to fire it at them at one time, right? Like perhaps I have one non-negotiable, and that's what I'm going to talk about today, and that's going to be the family oriented. So all I do is talk about family, not for the day, but around that non-negotiable. And then the next day or 2 days later is another one. I'm not going to overwhelm and pew, 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 pew. This is not a job interview, right? And now I know that we compare it to a job and compare it to interviewing all the time, but in reality, it's not a job interview, okay? McKay, I know I am your spirit animal. I am confident. Like, I believe you because I have a lot of spirit animals out there. What my third one, what is my non-negotiable? I have it posted on my page. I'll repost it one of these days too, okay? I have all 5 of my non-negotiables posted on my page with the date on it so that you know it's real. It's from 2012, okay? I'm 56 with an 11-year-old. What age range should I be looking to date? I've said 56. I don't know why I said that. I'm 55. I'm 55 with an 11-year-old. What age range should I be looking to date? You can date whoever the hell you want to date, right? My recommendation would be someone who's close to you in age. And the reason why I say close to you in age, that's plus or minus 5 years for someone who's 55. The reason why I say that is because you want someone who is going to be like-minded, who will tend to be like-minded. Nothing is 100%. Who will tend to be relatively in the same place that you are. If you're 55, you're probably thinking about retirement, right? You're more concerned about your savings. You may have paid down on your mortgage. You may have paid your student loans off. You probably paid off your car or might have bought it in cash. So people who are close to you in age tend to be relatively or are inclined to be closer to where you are in life. And that's a more appropriate match versus someone who's 55 dating somebody fresh out of college who's 22, who just started their student loan debt journey, who doesn't have a car, who still lives at home. You're not in the same place. It makes life more complicated than what it needs to be. Okay? So as someone who's 55, about plus or minus 5 years in either direction would be my recommendation. Okay? The younger you are, the closer you should be in age, right? So if someone's 20, 25 is pushing it. Someone 60, 65 is right in alignment, okay? Before becoming exclusive, what are the top things you should know about your partner? Before becoming exclusive, what are the top things that you should know about your partner? So first, this goes back again to your, I can't say this enough, your non-negotiables. Do they seemingly match what you are looking for? If they are seemingly matching what you're looking for and there's chemistry, the chemistry comes second, yes. Yes, the chemistry comes second. If they're matching what you're looking for and there's chemistry, then you may want to consider to move forward, okay? And you may want to consider to commit. Then there's some basic stuff, right? Like you're going to think about and consider how they behave when they're angry, how they treat you, how they treat your friends, their general disposition, right? But those are, again, are going to be a part of your non-negotiables. If you know that this is a part of your non-negotiables, right? Like being respectful is a non-negotiable for you, then that already answers that question. How they treat you, how they speak to you, right? If you know that that this person being financially sound, because you're financially sound, you're not broke trying to live for somebody else, is going to be a non-negotiable for you, then that's already going to be it. So you use your non-negotiables, and that's going to be the driving force to decide whether or not you should commit to this person, okay? Dr. Ashanti says, I love how your husband buys a badge every time you have a Q&A. Yes, he's very sweet. And then sometimes he harasses me and tells me that I have to buy him lunch because he bought me all of these badges. Yes, babe. Thank you for purchasing a badge. I appreciate you. Let's keep it going. Good morning, Alison. How do I approach the convo about moving in with my partner? How do I approach the convo about moving in with my partner? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to say is, why do you want to move in? And I know that that might sound like a silly question because the assumption will be, he keeps buying a badge because he's so cute. Thank you, babe, for purchasing the badge. The assumption may be that, oh, well, they want to move in together because she wants to move this relationship further. I live in New York City. Some of y'all might live in LA or in Miami. And so I am not going to assume that the reason why she wants to move in is because she wants to move the relationship along. And I am going to ask, is this anything to do with finances? Okay. The reason why I'm asking why is because that is the conversation lead, right? So if it's going to be, babe, you have your 1 bedroom, I have my studio. We're always sleeping over each other's houses anyway. financially doesn't make sense. You have a desire to open this. I have a desire to pay off that. I think it just makes fiscal sense for us to move in together. If that's the reason, right? If your reason is going to be romance, you're going to lead similarly. You're transparent, guys. Like, this isn't rocket science. Babe, we've been dating for X amount of time, or we've been together for X amount of time, and I think that we should move on and move up to the next level. I think moving together would be a great idea. What are your thoughts? Hello, Deb, the counselor. Right? So, babe, we've been together for 6 months. We spend so much time together. I really enjoy the time we spend together. And I've been thinking, what are your thoughts on us moving in together? That's it. When you start with what are your thoughts, it doesn't apply as much pressure. And you can give the person a little bit of time, right? Like, hey, babe, when you get home tonight, do not say, I want to talk to you. Like, oh, we need to talk. Do not do that. It scares the shit out of people, right? So instead, you're going to say, hey, babe, when you get home tonight, I want to talk about us moving in together. Let me know your thoughts. Give the person a little bit of time to think on it, and then you move forward, okay? It leaves it open, exactly. RDC. Thank you for that breakdown of pronunciation. Space needed from arguments. Should you go into different rooms in home or away? Space needed from arguments. Should you go into different rooms in the house or away? All right, so when we say space is needed, what do we mean? Are fists being thrown? Are glasses being broken? Is anybody in danger? If someone is in physical danger, then you should leave, because that is the only thing that's going to ensure that one person does not strike or hurt someone else, okay? If this is a war of words, then that means that you can shush your mouth, then you should not leave. You should go into another room and cool off. Walking away can be perceived as extremely disrespectful to the other person who stayed. And many times it's a cop-out for folks to not deal with their emotions and not be able to get through a conversation in a healthy way, okay? So if you are not in danger physically, and it's just your mouth that might cause some harm, which is harmful, but nonetheless, shush your mouth, go to another room. Sleep it off, sleep on the couch, sleep in the guest bed, sleep wherever, right? Bring this conversation back up the next day when cooler heads can prevail. If someone's in danger, get out of the house. Confidence to start dating. I don't feel attractive and lack motivation, but the clock is ticking. Confidence to start dating. I don't feel attractive and I lack motivation, but the clock is ticking. Okay, so this is my dead serious recommendation to you. You need to hire somebody. Let me explain why. And this is not in an effort to sell myself, but you need to hire somebody. And let me tell you why. If I am lacking confidence in my physique, and I lack motivation when I go to the gym or to even go to the gym, guess what I would do? Guess what I would do? I would hire a physical trainer. Why? Because I lack the confidence in what I look like, which means I want to change it. That's what you're saying. The clock is ticking. You want to change it. I want to change it, right? I'm not liking the way that I look. I want to change it. And I know that intrinsically, I don't have the motivation. I don't have the drive to do it on my own. So I know that probably in most situations, the best motivator is money. You spend that money, you invest in yourself, right? And you are going to be more inclined to do the work because you have to answer to someone and you already paid your money. If I've already bought the package, the $1,000 package of, I don't know how many sessions I'll get you, 15 sessions, I'm not going to cancel willy-nilly because I'm not throwing away $1,000. Nor would I feel good about myself to do a no-call, no-show when I know that the trainer is there waiting at the gym at 7 o'clock for me. So the fact that I feel obligated to show up for this person, because clearly I don't feel obligated enough to show up for myself, right? Lacks motivation. And I already spent my money. It's going to push me to do the work. If you are lacking confidence and you need motivation to get something done, spend some money, it's going to get done. So again, it doesn't have to be me, but if you need some kind of coaching or counseling or therapy or whatever it is that's going to help you to get back on track, stop being cheap and invest in yourself. Hire someone. They're going to be the ones that will help to push you, because you're going to keep thinking to yourself, I did not spend all this money to not get results. Let me go get those results. And side note, if it's too cheap, whatever it is, if it's too cheap, then you're going to be comfortable with letting that money go. Then you're not going to be motivated. And if anybody is charging you something that sounds cheap, then more likely or not, they probably are not going to get you the results that you're looking for. And not because cheap or free can't be good, but because you probably lack the motivation to do the work, because you don't have anything. You don't have a dog in the fight. Okay? Pay your money, invest in yourself. You're going to more likely get results than doing it on your own, because clearly, as you said, you're not doing it on your own. You lack the motivation. It doesn't have to be me, but you can click the link in my bio. Appropriate first date topics and how to keep the conversation flowing. Appropriate first date topics and how to keep the conversation flowing. Again, we're going back to the non-negotiables. So you should have your list of what you're looking for in a partner in advance. Before we get to the dating app question that I get every single week, no shade to you, you're probably new, right? Which is also in my frequently asked questions that's on my highlights on my page. I answered this question already. Before we get to the dating apps, before we talk about you should lose weight, before we talk about how to change your hair, before we talk about affirmations, right? You need to be clear on what you're looking for. Before I go to the supermarket, I create my shopping list. If I do not create my shopping list, I'm going to go to the supermarket. I'm going to walk up and down each aisle. I'm going to forget the things that I know that I need. I'm going to walk out with everything that I don't need. I'm going to walk out with the marshmallows and the mushrooms and the potatoes. And I'm going to forget the cereal and the bread and the eggs and the milk. Before you go out shopping, before you go out dating, you should be clear on what you're looking for first, because that's going to help you to be able to find it. Got it? Good. So, appropriate first date topics are going to be topics along the lines of those non-negotiables. I'm not going to bore those who are already on the live. Go back and listen to the previous question when a person asks about what questions do you ask. That's how you keep the conversation going. Okay? You ask questions around your non-negotiables. Do not overwhelm them. This is not the Spanish Inquisition, right? Pium, 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 pium. You ask questions around your non-negotiables. If they are not asking you back, if they're not reciprocating, then that says a lot, and you need to reconsider whether or not you want to continue to date them. Sometimes you could do a little bit of filler to help them. So you ask them a question about what they do, and then you say, well, for me as a vice principal at my school, my responsibilities are blah, 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 right? Hopefully they'll catch on and say, oh, I should ask some reciprocating questions. If not, then it just may not be an appropriate match, okay? Oh, please, if the person asks about your ex, you can answer. If the person asks about your ex, you can answer. You're going to keep it short and sweet. You're not going to delve into crazy details. And you are honestly, not just because Alison told you to, going to take some responsibility in why that relationship went wrong if that question ever comes up. I do not care if this person was the devil himself, a she-devil. I don't care, right? You played a part in some form or fashion as to why you got with that person and why that relationship ended. You need to take accountability. I'm telling you that I tell my audience of 51,000 people here on Instagram, right? And 8,000 more on TikTok. I tell them that if you ask a person why the relationship ended and they take no accountability, then they need to move on. That's my advice. So then now on the flip side, I'm going to tell you, please take some responsibility, because there is no way that this was absolutely not your fault. There's just no way. And if it's not your fault, it's still somewhat your fault, because what are you, just non-existent in your romantic life? Like you just sitting there and taking it like a dead doll? Okay, good. Well, it's right now it's 50.8, but we're going to round up to 51,000, okay? Before y'all go check me and then got something smart to say, because I know y'all function. Y'all throwing in questions at the last minute? Absolutely not. We are not doing that. I am hungry. Okay. Broke my ex's heart because I was not ready. I want a second chance, but he is hesitant. Advice? Broke my ex's heart because I was not ready. I want a second chance, but now he is hesitant. Advice? So my first question to you is, are you ready now? And if you're ready now, how sure are you that you're ready? Because what you're not going to do is you're not going to get back with this guy and then break his heart again. That is absolutely unfair. And then what you're going to do is you're going to set an animal out to the rest of us, because he's going to be done with women. And then now every other woman's going to have to suffer for your mistake. Are you ready now? Are you sure that you're ready now before you even pick up your phone to call this man? Okay? First, we need to verify that. And if you need professional verification, then holler at a counselor, a shrink, a therapist, somebody to make sure that you are ready. Okay? Number one, before you even pick up the phone. Secondly, the only thing that you can do is to show this gentleman that you are now ready. To communicate clearly to him that you recognize that you made a mistake. To clearly communicate to him that you are sorry. To clearly communicate to him and show him how you are now ready. Whatever you weren't ready or prepared to do before, if he allows you, then you're going to show him now. If that means that you make time for him and you're sacrificing work or whatever it is, right? If that means that you're answering the phone when he calls because that was the issue. Whatever the issue was, you now, if he allows you, have to show him over time. Do not expect, for 2 weeks I left work on time, so clearly I prioritized you. Like, that's not enough. It shouldn't be enough, right? Over time, if he's willing to take you back in some form or fashion, a trial period, right? You got to show him that you've changed. And that might take months. Suck it up. You admit that you messed up, so it's not going to be on your schedule. If he is unwilling to give you that second chance, then he's unwilling to give you that second chance. Sometimes we have to take our L's. They are lessons, right? So our L's are not only losses. Our L's are also lessons. We take our lesson and we move on accordingly, okay? So you clearly apologize. You own up to your wrongdoings, as Jazz is saying in the comments, right? If he allows you to show him that there's some change, you're going to show him the change for months. Do not expect a fast reconciliation. And then you move forward. If he's unwilling, he's unwilling. There's nothing you can do. You cannot convince someone to love you. You cannot convince someone to hate you. They have to decide on their own how they perceive you and how they want to deal with you and what kind of relationship, if any, that they want to build. There's no convincing, right? Unless you're involved in some kind of magic. Like, I don't like saying black magic because I don't like putting black in front of anything and make it negative. If you're involved in some kind of other arts, that's the only way that I could imagine that you can convince someone to do something that they don't want to do. Other than that, there is no convincing. Express how you feel. Apologize. Tell him that you're willing to show him that you've changed. If he's willing, he's willing. If he's not, it's a loss. It's a lesson. You move on accordingly. Is dating burnout a real thing? Because I am tired and burnt out from meeting new people and not going on any, I assume, dates. Is dating burnout a real thing? Because I am tired and burnt out from meeting new people and not going on any dates. Yes, it is a real thing. It is absolutely a real thing to have dating burnout. But let me tell you why many times folks have dating burnout. They have dating burnout because they are not being strategic in their dating practices. As I said in the opening of this live, we like to romanticize, right? And we like to think of the beautiful stories from Disney as the way that love and romance and relationships and marriages are supposed to work. It does not work that way. There is plenty of strategy and logic and reason that must exist in order for a relationship to be successful. So when we go out into the dating scene willy-nilly with no strategy, with no list of what we're looking for, with no way of being able to assess whether or not the person has those things, without any clarity on what your attachment style is and being able to work through that without getting rid of your own trauma. You see all this strategy? I didn't say anything about anybody being cute. I didn't say anything about anybody being 6 feet tall. I didn't say anything about anybody making 6 figures. I didn't say anything about a 6-pack. You see, I ain't said none of that, right? Getting rid of, or not getting rid of, I shouldn't put it like that. Processing, because I'm not a therapist, processing your trauma, right? If you have any, getting clear on what you're looking for, being sure that you either have those things or you can complement those things, right? That's the strategy. Knowing what questions to ask, knowing how to ask it, knowing when to ask it, paying attention to behaviors, being observant, not rushing into things, right? Knowing your worth. All of this is strategy that has nothing to do with how good looking somebody is or how much money they make or what their physique looks like, right? So that burnout is real. How do you deal? You join us in Dating 101 on October 30th at 4 p.m. Eastern. Click the link in my bio. It's $57 today. Today being the 19th at 6:38 p.m. Eastern, right? It will not be that same price next week. Everybody who did not buy last week when it was $47 knows that now, right? Investing. If you want to do the YouTubes and you want to do the podcasts and you want to do the Googles, you could try that. If you're still burnt out, that's why, right? You need to latch on to someone or something that has some real strategy that can really invest in you so that you can end the burnout. I hope that makes sense. What distance or hours in a car would you consider long distance? That's an excellent question. I just put up a reel about long distance and I got like 70% of people agreed and about 30% didn't, and that's fine. What distance or hours in a car would you consider long distance? I'm glad you put hours in a car because that's how I measure it as a New Yorker, right? For me, I measure it in two ways. 1 hours in a car, and this is the second way. I'm going to start with the second way. Is it practical that I can get up and get to work after sleeping at your house? Is it practical that multiple times a week I can get up and get to work and on time, right? So what do I mean by that? Before my husband was my husband, I lived in Brooklyn. At one point he lived in Harlem, another point he lived in the Bronx. When he lived in Harlem, I had to be at work at 8. I had to leave by 7. When he lived in the Bronx, I had to leave at like 6:50. I had to be at work by 8. That was an hour and 10 minutes. It was practical for me to sleep at his house multiple times a week and for me to get to work on time and not be overwhelmed. But if I need to be at work at 8 and I need to wake up at 4 to get to work, that has no longevity. It's not practical, right? So my second measurement is, can I get up at a decent hour and get ready and leave and go to work multiple times a week from their house? Is that a practical method? If it's practical, then it's a decent distance for me, or less, of course. If it's not practical, right? I'm in New York, you live in DC. That means I need to leave my house at 4 to get to work at 8. That's not practical. That doesn't have longevity. Okay? So that's one way of answering it. The other way is, for me as a New Yorker, now this is going to differ depending on where you live because the culture of driving and transportation is different and New York is different. As a New Yorker, as a Brooklynite, for me, anything more than an hour and a half, I'm not willing to do. And when gas prices were what gas prices were, I was not willing to do more than an hour and 10. So thank goodness that Biden got it down. Anything more than an hour and a half to me is too much. You have to decide for yourself. You have to decide for yourself what you're willing to do, how much you're willing to drive. But you asked me my opinion on this Q&A, an hour and a half. After that, party done. Okay? Now, mind you, as a New Yorker, that's still Long Island. Okay? And then not including traffic, like a real hard and fast hour and a half. Okay? Because sometimes it might take me an hour and a half to get from Brooklyn to Manhattan if the traffic is tough. How do you reach out to an ex for a chance of reconciliation? How do you reach out to an ex for a chance of reconciliation? This is very similar to the question that I answered before with the young woman who broke her ex's heart and wants to give him a second chance, or wants him to give her a second chance. So how do you reach out? You just do. Hey, James, long time no see. I was hoping that you would give me a chance to talk to you. I realized I made a lot of mistakes and I'd like to apologize. That's it. If James does not respond, then James is not interested, and that's the end of that. You're not going to harass. You're not going to reach out to his friends. You're not going to reach out to his family. If he was interested in giving you a second chance, he would have. Clearly, he is not. And as a result, it is what it is. So, hey, James, I hope all is well. I know that we ended on a rough note. I wanted the opportunity to apologize. Do you have some time to talk? Preferably face-to-face. Do you have some time to talk? That's it. If he accepts the invitation, yes, I have some time to talk. You can come over. Yes, I have some time to talk. Let's go walk in the park. Yes, I have some time to talk. Call me now. Then you get on the phone and you apologize. I like to apologize for the mistakes I made. I did this, and be earnest. I did this, and this. I was absolutely wrong. The reason why I did it, not an excuse. The reason why was because of blank. And I hope that you can forgive me. We talk about it. Let's see if there's forgiveness. And then I'm so glad you were able to forgive me. Do you think that we can reconcile? Do you think that we can start from scratch? Do you think that we can rebuild? Do not have an expectation that you're jumping right back in. Because if you're saying you want to reconcile, I assume that you're the wrongdoer, at least in the majority of the situation. So you have an expectation you just jump right back in. Y'all had a vacation plan a month out from now. Oh, we're back on. We're boyfriend and girlfriend again. Don't assume that, right? You may want to start from scratch. You want to start dating again, especially if you've changed, then you're a new version of yourself. You want to get to know each other in that way. Okay. Hey, I'd like to speak to you. I don't like the way that things ended. I want to apologize. You have some time to talk. If he responds, great. If he doesn't, we take that L. The L is a loss. The L is also a lesson. Are there any dating apps you recommend? Are there any dating apps you recommend? All right, so this is also in my highlights, okay? So I'm going to answer this very quickly because I answer it every single week and I don't want to waste anybody's time. And as I said, I'm hungry, okay? So dating apps that you recommend. First of all, depending on where you live, the value of dating apps are going to vary. What do I mean by that? In different regions, different apps are popular. And dating is, especially on dating apps, dating is a numbers game. You need the dating app to have as many profiles as humanly possible, and it needs to be popular in your city, because if it's not popular in your city, then you're not going to match to anybody because no one is by you, right? You're going to put in your distance, 50 miles, 60 miles, whatever that looks like for you. If there's nobody who lives in your city on that app, or very few and far between, then you will not have an enjoyable time because your options will be so limited. So the first thing is I can't answer that straight out, because depending on where you live, that will determine which apps are the most popular. I can tell you which apps to avoid, and I'll tell you why. So Plenty of Fish is an app that I highly do not recommend. Please do not send this to Plenty of Fish so they do not sue me for defamation. I do not recommend it because, relatively speaking, it's a hookup app, right? So the people who go on there, more likely than not, are looking to hook up. They're not looking for any kind of commitment. So I would avoid Plenty of Fish. Have there been successful relationships on Plenty of Fish? Yes. Relatively speaking, I wouldn't recommend it. Okay. An app I would recommend, depending on if it's popular in your city or region, because in some places it's not, would be Coffee Meets Bagel. I've had a couple of clients who have found success on Coffee Meets Bagel. So if it's a popular app in your city or in your region, I'd recommend it. Let me tell you why I like Bumble. There are some people who do not like it, some professionals who won't recommend it. I understand their point of view. I will tell you why I do recommend it if it's popular in your city or region. Now, and this is vain as hell, but if you are like incredibly attractive, right? Like you turn heads. Especially as a woman, and you post your photos, a lot of folks are going to think that your profile's not real, and a lot of people are going to reach out to you because you are attractive, okay? Oh, Married by Rev Roxy says, I've had a lot of clients get married from Coffee Meets Bagel. See, another cosign from a professional. So, you're attractive. You are going to get plenty of messages. You are probably going to be overwhelmed with messages. When someone asks something about dating burnout, you are going to be overwhelmed. You're going to create a profile. You're going to close your eyes. You're going to wake up. I had a client who literally overnight received 99 messages. 99 overnight. Overnight. I'm not exaggerating. Like, she set it up at 6. The next day at 6, she had 99 messages. You know what? She didn't open any of them. It's like when you're at work and you get a ton of emails, you're overwhelmed. You're like, F this, and you close the laptop because it's too much. It's too much. Okay? The reason why I'm telling you that this app, Bumble, is a solid idea, in my opinion, some people don't like it, I do, is because Bumble allows the women to do the matching. So instead of you receiving 99 messages because you are oh so cute, right? Instead, you're the one who is sending the message. You're the one who's doing the outreach. And so you're able to keep the numbers relatively reasonable that you can handle it, as well as avoid a lot of weirdos. If you're sending the message, that means that you have vetted very lightly, at least their profile. I would like to think you've read it and you looked at their photos. That means that there's something about them that's attractive to you. Their physique, their face, and the things that they've said on their profile. So if you're sending those messages, you might come across 7 guys. Not 7 girls. Well, yeah. You know what? I don't even know if it's 7 girls. 7 people to be safe. 7 people that you like. Then that means that you're able to narrow down that field versus allowing it to be 100% open to you. Now you're bombarded. It's overwhelming with weirdos. It's too much. That's why I like Bumble. Now I can tell you why some people don't like Bumble. Not my problem, but I see why people don't like it. Some women don't like Bumble, and some coaches don't recommend Bumble because they don't like the idea of the woman having to take the first step, right? So one, they say that perhaps it makes the men lazy. I think a lot of men on dating apps are lazy, or people are lazy, period, but whatever. That's one argument. The other one is, you're starting this supposed relationship by taking the lead. You're saying hello. I don't see that's, to me, taking the lead is, I want to take you out on a date, sir. When are you available? Saying hello, how are you? I saw on your profile that you're a police officer. Do you enjoy your work? To me, it's not taking the lead, but I understand the argument. I don't agree, but I understand. Okay. So again, no Plenty of Fish. Yes to Coffee Meets Bagel. If it's solid in your region, yes to Bumble. If you are a woman who's willing to say hello. Okay. Thoughts on male-female relationships. Thoughts on male-female friendships. Dude I'm dating has lots of women friends. Thoughts on male-female friendships. Dude I'm dating have lots of women friends. I don't have a problem with it. If I was still in the dating scene and the guy that I was seeing had lots of female friends, it wouldn't bother me. And I'm going to tell you why. And as a matter of fact, in my opinion, my husband has a ton of female friends. And I would also say that because he's a part of a fraternity, and fraternities many times are aligned with sororities, he knows lots of people and lots of women. It would not bother me, one, because of my own confidence, right? Which I can't teach you through a live. But really, more importantly than not, from a logical perspective, if somebody wants to cheat on you, they're going to cheat on you. Period. If they are going to find themselves in someone else's bed or inviting that person into their bed, they are going to do it. So the whole idea of trying to monitor or to quash the amount of female friends that your partner has, to me, is foolishness. Because people are going to do what they want to do, regardless to what kind of hurdles you try to put in their path. It's going to happen. So an idea of, I don't want my man goes out too much. He could sleep with a chick in the back of the van. He could sleep with a chick in the basement of the job. Like, people will find a place and time to do what they want to do if they desperately want to do it. So folks trying to interject or intercede and to me, it's a waste of time and effort. Okay. So I'm not clocking how many female friends the guy that I'm dating has. I'm not clocking how social he is as a determining factor of whether or not he's going to cheat. Folks are going to do whatever they want to do when they want to do it. So I am not concerned. Okay. Epitome of Class says you only need to worry if they are inappropriate. I would agree. If you find that his female friends are all over him, right? Or you feel like they're reaching out at odd hours of the night, then that's a different conversation. We have to talk about boundaries. But that could be one female friend. It doesn't even mean that he has to have plenty to be problematic. That means that there's a boundary problem, and that's the conversation that I would have. Okay. When a man cheats and says you made him or you caused it, is it acceptable? Is he sorry? No, babes, he's not sorry. How could someone be sorry if they're blaming you for their action? Can't be. It is impossible. It is impossible for someone to be truly sorry for what they have done, what behavior they have exhibited, if they're saying the reason why they did it is because of you. That means that they are not taking accountability. That means that you are the one who's responsible for the behavior. So how could they be apologetic or sorry? They cannot be. It's your fault, according to them. So how can they apologize? I can't apologize for something that you did. If you got in a car accident with somebody else, right? You got in an accident. You caused the accident. Then how could I be responsible for the accident that you caused? You did it. So either you're sorry or you're not. But I didn't have any say in that. You're the one who was behind the wheel, right? So no, he's not sorry, right? And then secondly, if anyone blames you for their actions or their behavior, they are problematic and you need to move on expeditiously. You need to move on expeditiously. Because there is no way, shape, or form that one person is responsible for the behavior of someone else. God has given us free will. We have the right to choose what we do and what we don't do, what we say and what we don't say, right? And as a result of that, that person needs to take full onus and responsibility for their own actions. And I believe it's a slap in the face for him to blame you for his cheating. Gaslighting and disrespectful, and you need to move on accordingly. Forget about is he sorry or not. If he's sorry or not. He's disgusting, disrespectful, and you need to move on accordingly. How dare he blame you because he decided that he was going to stick his penis in somebody else's vagina? Did you drug him? Like, unless you drugged him, There's no way, shape, or form you're responsible for this. Don't even allow that to enter into your mind and your heart. Move on accordingly. Click the link in my bio if you want a free training to help you learn how to move on. I also have an ebook. All right. Last question for the evening. We're doing great on time. What are some good first dates that are low, mid-level, intimate, but high-level conversation? What are some good first dates that are low, mid-level, I assume in price, intimate, but high-level conversation? So the first thing is you want the opportunity to talk, right? So I'm going to work backwards. You said conversational. You want the opportunity to talk, which means that if you're going to any kind of show or performance, that is not a good idea. Because in a show or performance, the expectation is that you're shushing your mouth, right? I can't go on Broadway, sorry, and have a high conversational date because I cannot talk during the show. Can't go to a movie. We cannot talk during the movie. So you want the opportunity where there's not attention on a show or a performance of any sort. That's going to allow for you to open up the room for conversation. Okay? That's number one. Number two, intimate. You said first dates. So I'm not sure how intimate you want to be. I don't think that intimacy is even a priority right now on a first date. I actually would want to relatively be in a crowd because I want to kind of not guarantee, but closer to guarantee my own safety. So I'm not really looking for intimate. I want to be around other people, right? In case there needs to be an outcry, like I want to be around people. So I wouldn't prioritize intimate. So I'm going to skip that part. Low, mid-level. Okay, so I don't know what's lower mid-level to you, but what I would imagine would be some really great dates. If you're a person who likes to be physical, if you want to do rock climbing, skating, mini golf is really cool, bowling, those are opportunities for you to still talk. But when you do those kind of activity-based dates, it also gives an opportunity for there to be those awkward moments that aren't so awkward because they're being filled with the activity. So I cannot talk to you the whole time that we're bowling, right? I got to go get the ball, line it up, go back, shoot it up. It gives some time for pause. It gives some opportunity for you to think, right? And so I think that activity-based dates are amazing in that area. You're around other people, so you're relatively safe. It gives you opportunity to talk, but not talk too much. And it's fun because you're doing an activity. So those are my favorite dates. Dinner is always an option. Everybody knows that that's the easiest thing. Dinner. I'm not crazy about drinks. I actually shared a post 2 days ago about dry dating. I'm not crazy about drinks because I don't want you to be lit on your date. I don't want you to be lit on your date. I don't want you to make poor decisions that you wouldn't have made under the normal circumstances. I don't want you to miss very important cues and flags, red flags, or white ones, or good ones, whatever, because you're not paying attention because you're intoxicated, okay? I'm not crazy about going out for drinks. I think it's a cheap, easy way for people to try to get to have sex with you. So that would be my answer. Activities. Those are my favorite. All right, beautiful people. So before I let you guys all go, I have to let you know, I only host this class once a year, Dating 101, the live masterclass. Last time it was 3 hours long and it was recorded. So if you had to come and go, once you've registered, you're going to get your recording, or you want to stay on with me and you want to soak up these gems. We spent an hour together just now. Imagine 3 hours that's targeted, that's specific for your question and your needs. Okay, so I want you to go ahead, click the link in my bio, and I want you to purchase the masterclass Dating 101. It's going to be live on October 30th at 4 p.m. Eastern. It is a Sunday. It is $57 today. It was $47 yesterday and all last week. If you are a subscriber to my page, it's $37. So maybe you want to subscribe first. That costs $5, and then register because you get a special link. Maybe not, but if you wait, it will only go up and up and up, and I'm only letting 40 people in the class. So stop playing. Stop playing with your love life. Stop playing with yourself. Pause, right? And get in this class, Dating 101, on October 30th. I only host it once a year. The last time I hosted it, it was over a year ago. I think it was like June or something. Anywho, I'm hungry. My food is here, and I'm going to go eat. I love all of you. This live will be saved as usual. And I am actually going to be back. I have another live on Monday with Dr. Daryl Johnson. She is a clinical psychiatrist or a clinical therapist. She can kill me. Clinical therapist. That's on Thursday. I have another live with a life coach. Oh, that's Monday. Another live with a life coach on Thursday. I'm back, baby. I'm back. The baby's room / the office, I'm back. So I have plenty of content for all of you guys. We're going to get these relationships together because I want you to be able to toast somebody on New Year's Day. All right? Adios, amigos. Have a wonderful evening.